Welcome back to another video by Ghostly Gloom. Before we begin, I kindly request you to subscribe to Ghostly Gloom and hit the bell icon to receive more videos from us. After watching the video, please take a moment to like it and comment on how you felt while watching. Now, let's dive into the story. Once, on a desolate midnight road, I encountered a girl in desperate need of a ride home. I was behind the wheel of my car, and without hesitation, I offered to take her there. Little did I know that this journey would be far more chilling and haunting than I could ever imagine. She sat in the back seat of my car, and as we drove through the darkness, I couldn't help but steal glances at her in the rearview mirror. Her beauty was captivating, but there was something inexplicably eerie about her presence. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Then, in an instant, she vanished from my view in the front mirror, leaving me utterly shocked. My heart raced as I turned my gaze to the back seat, and there she was, looking even more gorgeous, her lips curled into a haunting smile. Confusion gnawed at me, but before I could voice my astonishment, she calmly asked me to wait for 5 minutes. The place where she exited my car was a cemetery, and dread washed over me like a tidal wave. I desperately tried to restart my car, but it stubbornly refused to cooperate, leaving me stranded in the chilling silence of the graveyard. Minutes that felt like hours passed, and she returned, slipping into the passenger seat beside me without a word. I hesitated to speak of the unsettling experience in the cemetery, but I couldn't contain my unease any longer when I heard strange noises emanating from the back seat. Anxiously, I whispered to her, "Are you hearing that? It sounds like someone talking in the back seat, maybe 2 people." She assured me in a calm yet enigmatic tone, "Don't be frightened, they won't harm you." Nervously, I pressed for answers. "Who are they?" She responded only with a cryptic smile, leaving me to ponder the nature of the unseen presence behind me. My anxiety deepened, but I dared not provoke it further. Time seemed to stretch as I drove, and when I glanced into the rearview mirror again, I spotted 2 shadowy figures. She immediately cautioned me, "Don't do that again, it could cost you your life." I nodded, my heart pounding, and focused on the road ahead. An eerie fog began to roll in, shrouding the road in an impenetrable veil. The atmosphere grew increasingly unsettling, and the headlights of my car seemed to flicker as if fighting against some unseen force. Suddenly, the fog thickened, and I could barely see a few feet in front of me. Panic welled up inside me as I realized I had lost all sense of direction. I desperately tried to keep the car on the road, but it was as if an invisible hand was guiding it. The whispers from the back seat grew louder, more insistent, and seemed to be converging into a dissonant chorus. It was impossible to discern their words, but their eerie cadence sent shivers down my spine. I felt a presence in the car, an otherworldly coldness that sent a chill through my entire body. The temperature seemed to plummet, and my breath formed frosty plumes in the air. I could see my own terrified reflection in the rearview mirror, distorted by the shifting shadows. In a moment of sheer terror, I slammed on the brakes, bringing the car to a screeching halt. The fog outside dissipated as quickly as it had appeared, revealing an unfamiliar, desolate stretch of road. I was no longer on the route I knew. The girl in the passenger seat turned to me with an expression of calm, as if she had anticipated this turn of events. "You've entered a realm where reality and the supernatural intertwine," she explained cryptically. "These entities are guardians of this realm, and you have been chosen to bear witness to their existence." The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. I had inadvertently crossed into a dimension beyond my comprehension, a place where the laws of reality were fluid, and the boundaries between worlds blurred. As I grappled with the gravity of the situation, the girl instructed me to continue driving, assuring me that we would eventually return to my world. The shadows in the back seat remained silent, their presence palpable but enigmatic. Hours seemed to pass as I navigated the otherworldly landscape, encountering bizarre sights and surreal phenomena that defied explanation. trees morphed into grotesque shapes, and the moon hung low and crimson in the sky. The girl's guidance proved invaluable as she explained the rules of this supernatural dimension. We were guests in a realm governed by unseen forces, and our fate depended on our ability to navigate it. The shadows in the back seat remained an ever-watchful presence, their intentions still unclear. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the landscape began to shift back to something resembling the world I knew. The fog dissipated entirely, and the road ahead stretched out in a straight line. Gradually, the car's surroundings became more familiar, and I realized we were returning to the midnight road where our journey had begun. The girl in the passenger seat smiled, a mixture of relief and satisfaction in her eyes. "You have passed the test," she said, her voice no longer tinged with enigma. "You are one of the few who have ventured into this realm and returned." As we approached the spot where she had initially entered my car, she instructed me to pull over. She stepped out and, for the first time, I watched as the two shadowy figures in the back seat also exited the car. They joined her by the side of the road, their forms shifting and merging with the darkness. With a final nod, the girl uttered cryptic words of gratitude. "Remember what you have seen tonight, but share it with no one. The boundaries between our worlds are fragile, and not all who venture here return." As I watched, they melted into the shadows and vanished, leaving me alone on the midnight road. The car's engine roared to life as if by magic, and I continued my journey, my mind swirling with a surreal mix of fear, wonder, and newfound knowledge. I finally arrived back at my destination, the memories of that harrowing night etched into my very soul. I knew I had been given a glimpse into a realm beyond human understanding, a world of supernatural entities and enigmatic guardians. From that night forward, I kept my vow of silence, knowing that the truth of my encounter would remain hidden from the world. The midnight road had revealed secrets that few would ever comprehend, and I was forever changed by the thrills, horrors, and mysteries that had unfolded in its dark embrace.